On my last Dollar Tree podcast, I went over the LA Colors 3-color eyeshadows, the eyeshadow trios, and I said that those are the second best LA Colors eyeshadow formula, and there is a number one best. So I have decided to do that as the follow up. This topic is the LA Colors 4-color eyeshadows, so the quads. So I found one several months ago, and then at the end of 2025, I found a bunch more shades. So I have one, two, three, four, five of them. So I was able to find a total of 5 palettes. And as with everything from Dollar Tree, it's possible that there are more shades, and that's all that I found. But 5 is a pretty good number. So I picked them all up, and I'll get into why. So, if we think about eyeshadow today, and this is a real challenge I'm going to give you, go onto a site like Sephora, maybe Ulta, but I've seen this done with Sephora, and filter down to new makeup and the eyeshadow palettes and scroll through, and you're probably going to find that they are almost all neutrals and they are basically the same shades. Every palette looks like a repeat of each other. And I'm over that. I've been over that. And it's not just the whole 2016 is trending this year in makeup and people are getting on that they're going to use more color and they're saying 2016 highlighter and 2016 eyeshadow and all of that. I never subscribe to these weird sorts of trends. Like, to a degree, like I've, played with blush blindness and different placements and all those things, but I never stopped wearing color. That's just like one thing that I can't get into with trends is, the world saying, well, we're only going to do clean girl and lip oils and no color. Like, no, I have bright blue eyeshadow on today and it has nothing to do with 2016 or whatever, okay? But that's where we're at. That is the world right now. 18 shades of neutrals on repeat. A mirror the size of your face. Okay, great. And then you got to get yourself emotionally prepared for the price tag. Makeup has very well gone up. Drugstore, high end. It's out of control for many reasons, of course. And then, here we are with a $1.25 eyeshadow quad. And if it can get the job done, you end up feeling pretty good. So, I do link in the Substack here to my review on the trio eyeshadows. So we're going to focus on what I was able to find here. So I found the shades Tailored, Queen's Desire, Classics, Sweet Princess, and Fashionista. And, the packaging, it is what it is. It's not flimsy. It doesn't have the stupid sponge applicator or any applicator, no mirror, none of that. It's basic. They're doing what they can to get it out to you for $1.25. That's fine. But why did I pick up all the shades that I could find, even before I knew they were any good or not? It's the packaging. The quad, the layout of the packaging is very reminiscent to some other really good eyeshadows. And to show you, I actually did a photograph of all these different palettes side by side. So I'm thinking about the e.l.f. Bite Size eyeshadow with the Wet n Wild Color Icon 5-pan palettes and the Hard Candy Moods, those little quads from Walmart. They are all similar. Well, Hard Candy's in a black packaging, but they're all a similar layout, especially the e.l.f. Bite Size eyeshadows, what I really think of number one. And those remind me of the little 5 palettes from Natasha Denona. So I took a photo of all these just to show you. Whenever you find a palette that looks like those, they're basically always really good. The Bite Size eyeshadows from e.l.f. are basically the best eyeshadows they've ever put out in these little palettes. So when I saw the LA Colors basically doing the same thing, I'm like, here we go. We gotta try them. We are all in good company. So really, they are small but mighty, right? Really good for travel. And one of those palettes, if you're going to bring it with you, something's going to happen to it. I mean, it is what it is. You're going to go ahead and replace it. Now, for the trio eyeshadows, I said, for one thing, the color stories didn't make sense. It just did not feel like a complete look. I'm more so tempted to take out all of them, put them on my counter, and go, okay, imagine they're an entire eyeshadow palette. Not with these. So the color stories are cohesive. I feel inspired, no random pops of color necessarily. I really feel like I can get a complete eye look without outside help and be more likely to reach for these. So the formula. They require some building, yes. I don't think you're going to get any eyeshadow Dollar Tree that you don't have to build a little bit more than the drugstore counterpart. So I expect that, you're going to build, blend, layer with these, and you get a perfectly pigmented eye just like with any other palette. It's a little bit of kick up in the pan, a little bit of dust flying around, especially if you pick up too much. I mean, it's not a problem. It's really not, okay? The biggest deal with the formula is nothing is patchy, muddy, chalky. I had an easy time working with everything and blending out the shades. The mattes diffuse, the shimmers are not gritty, they give you just enough glow, and everything is working together. Nothing is muddying up or blending away. They are not fighting on the eyelid, okay? So, when that occurs at this price point, I'm paying attention. It really is impressive. Every quad here makes sense as a standalone. You don't really feel like you're missing a shade to get the job done. Unless, if you want to get real deep into it and say, like, you need to have a highlighter shade. I always highlight my brow bone inner corner. I don't care if that's like some old trend. That is what I like on me. Or if you want to always have like a neutral, like, crease shade. But I don't even subscribe to that anymore. I've seen so many eyeshadow tutorials, people just slap all the color on. I like that. Don't always have to have a brown or whatnot in the crease. So, if those are your preferences, maybe you won't like these. But to me, they're cohesive. And if I want to highlight my brow bone, I always have a highlighter in my daily makeup, and I just grab that. And then, of course, in the Substack, I show you the swatches on my arm, on clean skin, if you want to see all of them. They swatched really good. You can see the pigmentation. You can see the soft diffusing of the powders. And again, I've said this before, but swatches are not indicative of how they're going to perform on the face. As I'm applying them with my finger, I'm applying a lot of pigment to show off the color and the texture. That's very different from going on your eye with brushes over eye primer and so on and so forth. But when it comes down to makeup, one thing I don't talk about enough, nobody really talks about enough, is, okay, you tried this thing, you reviewed it, so would you reach for it again? Would you actually use these again? I absolutely would. I own a lot of eyeshadow, more than any one person rightfully should, and I try to challenge myself to reach for palettes that I haven't used. So I'm thinking, like, did I use this in 2025 or 2026? No, let's reach for it. So that's the only reason why, if you follow me on social media, you may not see me reach for these again, just because I'm trying to give love to as many products as possible. But they are worth it, and they don't feel like they're just a backup or a cop-out. Like, they are real options. And I have to face it, with how much makeup I do have, oftentimes when something starts collecting dust, it's on borrowed time. It's more likely to go to the bad bin, which is just my donate box. I send makeup to Project Beauty Share probably at least once per year to clear out my collection. And I did have the trio eyeshadows in there, but then when I decided I was going to start reviewing Dollar Tree makeup, I pulled them out. And why? Because they're okay, right? They're perfectly good, like I said, but when you have as much as I have, sometimes it's hard to get things that add something new. And now I'm going off on a whole thing here, but they're going to survive the purging of the drawers. So I hope, so I think. So, I mean, are they luxury? Is this like Urban Decay over here, Anastasia Beverly Hills, which literally blends itself? If you've ever tried a palette from them, the best way I can describe it is they blend themselves. I started with Naked 3 back when I knew nothing, and that was my experience, okay? No, that's not what's going on here. But if you want eyeshadow, it's affordable, reliable, easy to work with, cohesive color stories, travel friendly. These are worth it. They are worth paying attention to. And for this price point, the performance is absolutely impressive. They are on par with other drugstore favorites. And that makes them really satisfying and fun to use, quite honestly. So, if you feel like in a way you've discovered a secret. You kind of have, but it's not a secret because I'm here telling you all about it and telling you where to get it. But it's kind of like a little Dollar Tree secret, right? They're actually good. And again, if you're looking at LA Colors and you see those other palettes that they're tiny, but they're large. They have a bunch of shades in them and they're very small pans. And there's not a lot of differentiation between the shades. Don't buy those. I've seen so many people try to put them on in videos and there's basically no pigment and they act like they're trying to make them work. Honey, they don't work. And I'm not fooled by that. So definitely avoid those. Only go for the quads or the trios with LA Colors, okay? So I rated these 5 out of 5 stars. So we think about that. We think about the face duos that I raved about. They do have some really good things that are immediate favorites from a brand that I just completely wrote off for like probably a good part of 10 years. It's worth trying, and there's still hits or misses, and I have some things sitting in my bin waiting to review that are absolutely awful, and they're going to go straight to the bad bin once they're reviewed. But I will get to them all in due time. Hits and misses. This is a hit, right? So, I'm going to tell you when it comes to Dollar Tree, sometimes the most unassuming things that are hanging around end up being ridiculously good. So I recommend these. I would repurchase them. And I think they're worth even traveling with, if the need presents. So what I want to know is, have you seen these? Have you tried any of them? Do you have a favorite, a go-to quad? I'd be really interested to know. And if there's anything else that I should be testing from LA Colors, I'm starting to dwindle down my stockpile. There's just things that I look at and I go, I'm just not going to buy that because I know in my heart of hearts that it's not going to work. But if there's anything that I should be testing and looking into, I want to hear about it for sure. And other than that, we're at the end. I love how short and sweet these Dollar Tree posts are. They don't need any fluff. They are simple, and the products are really worth your time and attention most of the time, but if not, I'll let you know. So we are at the end. Thank you for listening. And now I got to figure out what's next for Dollar Tree. Now I know we're going to talk about Ioni. That's all I'm going to say. All right, bye.